Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Behind the Helmet, where we are sitting with the pullers, talking about life, talking about more than just truck and tractor pulling. I have my childhood heroes, and I'm sitting in their trailer, and I feel pretty good. Dennis Goodwin, Matt Goodwin, guys, I grew up watching you guys pull with the ITPA back in the day, and I'm just beyond happy. I was happy to see you here, Matt. So, how do we start this out? Dennis Goodwin, you guys still live in Farmingville, or?
Yes.
Because my favorite thing, so George Hendrickson, the best tractor pulling announcer ever.
Yep.
No offense to anybody, but the best tractor pulling announcer. Dennis Goodwin on a good one, and those are just little things I will remember the rest of my life. The state fair, the Iowa State Fair, I just memories. Those was right before school started, guys, and different things like that. And being just a little Iowa kid on a farm with my dad, trying to keep him sane, getting to go to the tractor pulls and see, Magnum Force and Intimidator, and it's awesome. Dennis, can we just start with how it all started with you? Like, what got you into tractor pulling? Because you own an insurance business, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how does an insurance guy get in? Because I always thought only farmers tractor pull.
Well, I was born and raised on a farm, and they never got the farm completely out of me.
Okay.
We just couldn't afford it, and sold out when I was in high school, senior. We got started with micro minis.
Really?
The little 49
scale. Yep. 16 scale.
49 and 051 motors in them, and TDs. We switched those around and everything. And then
Well, how old were you when you started doing the micro minis then?
well, how old you? You started one of them.
I don't know. I was in probably junior high.
No, the basement.
I know. Maybe I was younger than that.
Oh, I think because you ran upstairs, but you didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was. Then we got into antiques.
What, do you remember what models?
Yeah, I had two Gs, one styled, one unstyled.
John Deere's.
And we had a Super C, and we had a B John Deere.
So in some ways, and I'm not a big antique guy, what do they mean styled and unstyled? What does that mean?
What's the different years?
Oh, okay.
One had the sheet metal, and the other one just with the open
When
front.
the radiator left,
Okay.
you just see the cast iron radiator. Those are unstyled.
Unstyled.
When they put the grill around the front, style.
Nice.
But that's how we got started, and then I went out to Pennsylvania and bought the Super Happy Hooker.
The Super Happy Hooker.
460.
460.
Okay.
On alcohol.
Worse. Didn't run, pop, bang. Oh, it didn't have enough spark. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's before they did everything.
Approximately what year did you buy the Super Happy Hooker?
83, 82.
I don't know, Matt.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. That's what I just
I don't know what
I
year.
want to put a timeline together if you can.
And then
That commercial break was brought to you by a mini rod puller, correct?
Yes.
Right.
The whole idea of an interview is for us to hear it. So we're talking about the 460 Super Happy Hooker, trying to develop a timeline. We're thinking early 80s, guys.
Yeah.
Dennis, how do you, before the internet, how did you know about a tractor for sale? Another commercial break brought to you by a mini rod. So anyways, we're back to Dennis and Matt Goodwin. I'm Behind the Helmet, just getting to know our fellow pullers and my childhood heroes. We're talking about the first kind of big tractor that Dennis bought back in the day, the Super Happy Hooker out of Pennsylvania. And the question I had was, before the internet, and how did you know there was a tractor for sale in Pennsylvania for a guy in Iowa?
well, because I got the NTPA puller magazine, and it was in the back of
They
the
had it for
magazine.
sale, that's right.
It was in the back of the magazines. I still have lots and lots of their puller magazines.
Okay.
But that's where you used to be able to find stuff for sale, and I
What did you pay for that? You remember?
$4,500.
Yep, $4,500.
Yeah. It was.
And was that considered a super stock tractor then?
Yeah, it was a light super.
Okay.
Single turbo alcohol.
Yep.
But 20 or 30 points on it.
So you brought it back to Iowa, and were you president of ITB already,
No,
Dennis?
no,
Or just
no.
just pullers, right?
Just pullers.
Okay.
I went to northeast Iowa
Okay.
first, and then I got hooked up with Headley, Chickering, and Cornish.
And those are all modified pullers, right?
Yep. And went to Iowa and ran a few. Ran a Grand National in Des Moines and broke it in two.
Oh, that's right.
This is the 4-component chassis.
This
Yeah.
is the 460.
This is 460. So okay, gotcha.
Pulling into 7, and we should have known better, but
Nah, you're pullers.
we got free tickets. Paid an entry fee and got tickets.
I like it.
And then I kept watching it. One of my friends founded the Puller magazine, LD Nation had Private Farm for sale.
Okay.
So, long story short, I called him up and was talking to him, and he told me what he wanted. I told him what I'd give, and he just never acknowledged me. He just kept right on talking. He just like there was nothing going on. And I talked to him a couple times. I was either going to buy a new Buick Riviera or I was going to buy a tractor is what I was going to do. And we went down and looked at it.
Okay.
And I said that I would take it. And then he went to a pull that weekend and won both days, Saturday and Sunday. So they decided they wasn't going to sell it.
Okay.
So I come home and he was all upset with me that I didn't buy it.
Right. I get it.
But I went to, where did we go?
Colorado.
Yep, and I come back and he's all excited. He said, LD called, called him back again. So I called him back and he said, I'll sell it to you for what we agreed on.
Okay.
And I said, well, there's only one problem. The season's over now. And my semi's in the shed. I don't have any insurance on it. You'll have to deliver it. Well, he hung up on me. Well, the next day he calls me up. He says, all right, I'll deliver it. I said, well, don't bring it if there's any snow or ice. He brought it in the worst ice storm. They brought it.
So this is the Private Farm.
Private
That was
Farm.
a 10, right?
966.
Okay. Trying to remember. It's been a while.
Brought it. No, everybody in town was down in the shed. Everybody come down. And,
Well, it wasn't an enclosed trailer that they brought it in, so
That's
everybody's seen it.
yeah, it was on a low boy.
Yep.
And
In the snow and ice?
oh yeah, they saw it coming around the corner into Farmerville, and the trailer was sliding sideways going down. And we get it in the shed, and everybody's down there. We might have had a few pops, and we didn't know how to start it. I never started a diesel in my life. So
How many Chargers was it at that time?
3.
Okay. And so would that have been 2-stage? Like one smaller?
No, 3-stage, left-hand power.
So boom. Oh, the left-hand power days. So do you remember how big the turbos were on that?
oh yeah,
Like a 3x3?
I don't know numbers.
well, I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
TO8 on the bottom, but yeah.
So was Hyper big then, or when did you guys really? So Hyper.
I called
Okay.
before when he told me he wouldn't sell it. I called Hyper and told him that I'd like to have him build me a tractor. He talked and he said, are you sure you can afford that? I said, well, I don't know, you haven't given me a price. You better try to find somebody. He said, he told me about LDs, and again, he told me about the one in New York, the one in Illinois, and they all were, I couldn't get them. So that's when it come through. So I told LD, well, I'm only going to give you so many dollars then until the first of the year because I can't use it.
Right.
And so we went to Indy Super Bowl and ran into him, and he bought John Shaw's tractor.
Okay. What was that called?
I don't remember. It was a mod.
There was a 3 engines.
So that's what got him into the mods.
Yep.
Because I didn't know you bought LD's tractor. I didn't only know LD as a mod puller.
Yeah.
So.
I bought LD's tractor. He said, I bought this tractor, I need cash. And he said, if you give me this many dollars, that's what I'll go for. And
How many dollars was it?
I know.
I know.
How many dollars was it?
$18,000.
$18,000.
$18,000? And that was a badass
I was giving him 25.
Still. That's amazing. I can't buy a pulpit.
In the first year, I got it. Long story short, we had an injection line leaking. So I called Jerry Lagarde and I told him I needed some warranty work. And he said, I don't do warranty work. And who are you? And we're talking again. And I said, well, you just keep the thing, man. I don't want it. I said, I'll braze it back together. You can't do that. I'm sending you one. We argued back and forth. Pretty soon here it comes, $100,000.
Welcome back to Behind the Helmet with Dennis Goodwin, Matt Goodwin. So we got LD Nation's Diesel Super. Did he call it Pride of the Farm, or did you name it?
Yes, no, it was Pride.
So it was Pride of the Farm.
It was owned by Don Cook.
Okay, I know that.
Bennett, Baraska had it. There's another one in there. Oh, actually, Wykowski and LD's. No, the other
Like
one.
Arnie? Or Joe?
Joe.
Okay.
They had,
Bigfoot and I think they might have switched
they
tracks.
switched tractors in there someplace.
Okay.
But, no, that first year,
You said you went to, so first time you drove was at Louisville.
first time I ever drove it,
So first time you ever drove a big diesel super.
first time I ever drove it, made a test hook,
Was Louisville at the time still Louisville, or was the Super Bowl the big dog?
No.
Super Bowl was probably okay.
Louisville was a big dog.
Louisville's still the big dog? Okay. So this is 84, 85 possibly? Okay, we're back with Dennis and Matt. There's a mini rod checking its timing or something like that, but I want you to hear this because this is good stuff. So Dennis gets to drive his diesel Super, the private farm he bought from LD Nation the first time in Louisville, so mid-80s.
First time I ever drove it, I went out, I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what gear to put it in, and Derwin Blagrave said, just a minute.
That's Stan and Steve's dad.
He said, here, I can tell you what gear he ran,
And how many weights
and he
you got
said,
on
I'll tell you how many weights he had on the front. And we get done and he goes, well, I ain't telling you anything anymore, he said. But
Now, was that 7,500 back then?
95.
95.
It was
95.
Heavy class, okay.
But I did an exhibition in the afternoon just to, because I didn't even know anything about it.
Well, they had smoke tubes on them then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ugliest smoke tube there is, I still have it.
Do you really?
Yep.
We're gonna get a picture of that, man.
It's up in the garage. You know where it's
I know
at.
it's at.
Text me that picture.
But I went down through there and nobody come close to me, and nobody come close, and here comes Billy Joe Miles, and he said, Dennis, you're gonna win a coat, and he's gonna put it on me, and about at that time, the last tractor,
That was Tom Foley.
went, he goes, nope, you're not gonna get the jacket tonight.
You thought you had your jacket.
Actually, there was a pull-off that night, and I didn't know who Tom Foley was.
I don't
But
know
he
Tom
asked me what gear we ran.
No,
and I told
that's a
him,
different one.
No.
That's the black one.
Good giant? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, if you told Good Giant.
Okay.
Told him what gear,
Yeah, I told him what gear.
I was running. I said, don't be telling him he went and beat us that night.
That could be true.
But then the next year, they just told me, well, you're automatically into Louisville, so they called me up, they said, aren't you coming? I said, they told me it's automatic. They, well, you gotta send an application in. I said, well, this is how green we were.
Yeah.
So I said, we'll be there, and I won it the next
It's
year.
fun to hear, I mean, because I look at you guys as legends, it's fun to hear these early stories, and it's fun for people watching this too, the struggles that everybody gets into, you know.
Yeah, Matt, the family all went the first year. You didn't go the second year, and I won it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I've never won that down there.
Well,
A couple seconds, 2 or 3 seconds.
I don't know how many times I have.
I know we swept it one year. I don't know what year that was.
so they've been Whipple tractors?
No, he won
like
both. He won
95
his
and a-
qualifying and
Oh, okay.
But that's how we got started with it, and she was it was a good tractor.
So that's I remember the pride of the farm.
He got to drive it a couple times, and
I pulled it once at 11,000. I pulled 11,000 once. Slowest gear it had, but I never went on track so
How old
fast.
are you now?
54.
No, I'm just trying to put the gears. I'm 46. Because I would have been 10. Hey, we're back. The mini rod continues to test and tune, we will call it.
There you go.
Dennis Goodwin, Matt Goodwin. So we started out with the super happy hooker, the 460. Dennis bought Pride of the Farm from LD Nation. We're getting one Louisville the second year, got second the first year. Now we're talking about Matt starting to drive the Pride of the Farm. Matt's 8 years older than me, so I would have been 10. That makes about sense. Was there an age limit, Dennis, for did you have to be 16 or 18?
Yep.
Good. Is that, well, every dad says that.
I said, yeah, he's old enough.
Yeah, I know. I hear that all the time. So first time you drove Pride of the Farm, you remember where?
It was in Nebraska. I don't remember what town it was.
Okay. And is this all NTPA or ITPA?
ITBA.
Okay, like when you say Greeley, Colorado, would that have been NTPA?
That was NTBA.
So it was, NTPA was literally nationwide, right?
Yep.
Is it Houston, Astrodome, all that stuff, right?
Right.
Okay, awesome. So somewhere in Nebraska the first time?
Somewhere in Nebraska. Yep.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I think I got second. But yeah, it was a rush. I drove the 460 once or twice, so
Okay.
had a feeling for what it was, but still nothing like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so Pride of the Farm. So quick story. One of my favorite stickers on your guys' old trailer when you had both tractors. You guys came to Cedar Rapids one night, and there was a sticker on your trailer that says, "We don't tractor pull to make friends, we bring our own."
That's right.
Similar to
No, but it's funny the stuff you remember. Like I still remember Matt Good, or George Hendrickson saying Dennis Goodwin and Matt Goodwin on a good one.
well, back in the day, we'd run 2 classes. So 2 tractors, 2 classes. We got to throw 2,000 pounds. We got to put fuel.
So
in.
75 and 95, right?
Yes. Had to put fuel in, water in, air the tires. So we had to bring friends to help do that stuff. So
Then, the guy that showed me the Polar magazine, that showed me the Pride of the Farm with LD Nation, he wanted to get in with us, so we
Okay.
built the tractor.
3688.
We bought a tractor out of Wisconsin that was a piece of junk.
Okay.
And,
Basically a chassis.
yeah, and those two drove it then.
Okay. But it was a super.
Yep,
Yeah, and
so he
that's-
was still in a 9 only, and if they had the 11, but mainly 9, and then this was a lighter tractor, so I'd run it in 7 and his buddy.
So there was a 7 and a 9 and 11.
Yeah.
Yes.
Diesel super, or it was
Yep.
all diesel back then,
Yep,
right?
correct.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep, and I think that was 1988 we put that together.
Okay.
And it was just a twin charger Hypermax setup. But
Hypermax, the rear end, I always knew the tractor had that little line, and you always knew it was a hyper rear and the red one.
right?
And the red one. All right, so when did Magnum Force come in, and that was yours? So when did Pride to Farm go away, and Magnum Force and Intimidator? How do we get to today?
I bought a chassis, a frame,
Okay.
from George Wapello,
Atlas tractor.
Atlas Tractor,
Okay.
and,
This is still all ag chassis, right?
yep,
Yeah. So we'll make sure we talk about like when the components kind of came in.
and then I went down to the 75, and we changed the sheet metal in.
Yeah, when the sheet metals went away from the 66, we changed it to Magnum Force.
And does that name have any meaning, Dennis, or
Yep,
no? Just
No.
cool name.
Pride of Farm
Magnum
does.
tractor.
Those side shields are hanging in the shop.
I want a picture of that.
Yep.
That'd be neat. That'd be neat.
If you look real close, you can still see the NTPA number, the original number that it was,
Oh, it's on there.
and Don Cook's name, get painted over.
So like, how many tractors run your class? Like at an average
Oh.
back then? 20?
Could
Yeah.
easily be, especially a national event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because there was no pro stock then, it was just diesel scooter, right?
Yep.
7, 9, 11,
Yep.
sure, 5. There was a 5.
there was
right?
5.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. So like Braybacks, is this the same time Braybacks
Yes.
running hard?
Yep.
Who were some of like the big names that?
John Clue,
Red Baron.
Rob's.
Rob's.
Ross,
Very good
and
earning.
Warren.
I actually have a farmer's implement sticker on my tractor.
Do you?
Now, because of Warren. I called Warren last year, did an interview with him and stuff. And,
Lyle Wheatley,
yep. Coleman Wheatley?
no,
No, Lyle was from Pocahontas. Coleman was from Ohio. I
Okay,
believe.
a lot of D21s, I remember.
Yeah.
No, that's early 80s, isn't it?
Well, we
well,
had
we had, what's his name?
Dwayne Proctor.
Yep. The Small Frog? Trying to remember all the names.
Small Frog,
That
that
was
was,
John Deere.
That was, he was out by Sioux City.
Who was the guy that George would always talk about? The guy would just park the tractor out back in the snow and he knew where it was by then. I swear George would tell a story about where the smokestack was.
I don't
It was,
remember.
was it Proctor maybe?
I don't know. I don't remember that
Proctor's-
story.
It could have been.
There was one that was just kind of rough and then, it
Well,
just,
who was the other D21 that?
Arlen?
Arlen?
No, Arlen Jensen.
Arlen Jensen.
There's
from-
another one that, the old boy, the granddaughter drove it.
Oh, RC Mathis.
RC man.
Okay.
It was a good runner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
So he
And
sold
Lee Aylward, of course.
Lee
Lee
Aylward,
Aylward
yep.
running hard that.
out of Missouri.
yep.
David Anderson bought that tractor.
Yep, and David still has it, I think. His daughter's drove. I think she drove at the state fair last year. So you sold Pride of the Farm, or did you turn it into the Magnum Force?
I turned it into Magnum Force,
Okay.
and I sold to Missouri, some young guys wanted to start a super farm, and they got the frames and the rail and all the chrome grill. They got the grill, didn't they?
Red got that.
Oh, well, they got
We built Michael Rhodes.
Michael Rhodes.
Red.
they've got it on the top where it had the chrome on the top and the
Yep.
step and all that stuff that was chromed on it.
Nice.
That I'd re-chromed, and they got all that stuff in the rear end.
So when did the intent, so we had Magnum Force,
We actually built that 3688 in 88,
88.
which
okay.
was called Against All Odds.
Okay, I remember that briefly.
And then when we
So
went
you got that out of Wisconsin, you remember who you bought that from?
it was on an auction.
Was it? But he was just a roller, basically?
Yeah, it was supposed to run and everything, but
It was on an auction.
Okay.
And I don't know what year we went to the Magnum hoods,
Okay.
but that's when it changed from the Against All Odds to the Intimidator. And it was still an ag chassis. When we went to the MXs, we put components together.
that's when yep,
Dwayne Schroeder built your chassis.
yep. Engler built this one,
Yeah.
Timmy. Then there's some of the other guys that used to go with us all the time got hooked on it. So we bought Bob Chickering's mod.
You did?
Yeah, we had
Partner, there was four
four of us.
The inch pitcher?
Yes.
And the trailer and the weights, just every swinging, an extra motor.
And we called it Clueless because we knew nothing about an Alice.
So
We
you
knew
knew
nothing
nothing
about-
about diesels, so like, what the hell, let's go mod.
And these guys These guys were clueless. They were driving.
Yeah, two of our buddies drove.
How long did that go on?
3 years.
I was gonna say 5, but I don't know.
It went to Germany.
Okay. It was an Allison, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
I never did drive it.
I didn't even.
How many, did you guys run some Grand National? Or did you ever just more like region or
Never,
state
I mean,
or ITPA?
we went back to Toma when we first got the tractor.
Okay.
We'd go there. We really was a that might have been just a regional, really.
But was ITPA the Iowa Tractor Puller, that was part of the NTPA at the time, right?
Yes.
As a member
So,
state.
okay, so it's kind of like what Badger State is the PPL now, right?
When I,
Okay.
yeah, because when I bought the private farm, George Hendrickson thanked me, because he said, that way I don't have to build something to beat Ernie and them.
He wanted a red one to win.
Yeah.
Because he'd always say, oh, this kills me.
Right.
So I said, well, you want to sponsor it? No, that didn't go over very well. It just laughs.
Henderson had the money too.
But, oh yeah, but then that's the second year, I think, I become president of Outlaw, or
Okay.
in ITBA.
Okay. And when did Doug start the Outlaws, or did you start the Outlaws?
Doug did.
Doug did, and when, who was the one that had PPL, was going around trying to give money to everybody?
Forrest Lucas.
No, before that.
Oh, Chastain.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ATPA.
Chastity.
ATPA.
And he was trying to, and they all thought that was the best deal, and I said, well, I'll do that. You're just paying him for it.
Yep.
And they said, well, what do you think we ought to do? And I said, the only person that's never promised me anything, but said he would give us support of vehicles, is Doug Roberts. And my secretary just had a fit, and we could be called the Outlaws.
I love it. It's great for marketing.
She didn't
I love
like
those
it.
commercials. The Outlaws are coming. I mean, I've heard those State Fair commercials for years.
But some of our promoters, we gained because we brought in to do, they didn't have any diesels.
Okay.
And they didn't have hardly any tractors. They had mods and pickups.
Okay.
And that.
So the Outlaws, Doug already had the Outlaws.
Correct.
So he was looking to kind of marry up with some pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And it worked well. Our Iowa polls would bring in, the Texas, the Oklahoma guys. I mean,
oh yeah,
we'd never pull that
So
stuff
Lake
in.
Graves has been doing the ITPA and some of that? No?
they didn't.
They come a couple, mainly State Fair before they go to Bowling Green or something.
Everybody wanted to go to the state fair. It was one of the worst tracks.
Yeah, everybody wants to be at the Iowa State Fair, but the track is.
Yeah, that's that old racetrack.
I tried as hard as I could. It's got that calcium chloride in it. You can't.
Well,
But
that was not a horsepower track.
no. But we brought in different vehicles, and places like Hinton, they would just flock them in because you'd see, well, here's the Texas boys coming in, and you see all these rigs.
Yep.
And we always parked them right up front by the gate. So
Oh
we
yeah, show off a little bit.
Yep.
What year did we go from open trailers to start sticking them in enclosed trailers? You guys remember? Like who was the first one to do an enclosed trailer? Do you have any memories of that?
I never even thought about it.
As a kid, that was always neat. You pass a truck pulling tractor or a truck, and
I know.
you just glue your head.
The fact that now it's in a trailer, you don't know what it is.
You don't know if there's a race car in there or
Right.
a truck.
I don't know what year we got ours.
What year did I get the butt out?
I was in college, so early 90s.
Went to an auction and bought this truck that, well, it was in two pieces. It had a pedal hook.
Yep.
It was both cargo. There's little.
That's when I remember. That's when you had the sticker that says we don't tractor pull to make friends, we bring our own.
Yep.
I went home on 4th of July. We lost the trailer in Des Moines.
The pedal come unhooked
Oh my.
on the interstate.
But moving.
Moving.
We got bumped, and I looked in the mirror and I said,
Yeah.
in other words, oh my God,
Yeah.
we lost the trailer.
It didn't
He
slip
said,
it.
no, we didn't. I'm like, we lost the effing trailer.
And then we jumped out of it, didn't pull the air on it, it just kept rolling. It ran out of air and quit itself.
But there was an on-ramp on 235 in Des Moines.
Right there,
That's where the trailer
Merle
landed,
Hay.
on that on-ramp.
Merle Hay.
And nothing bad happened.
There was a Decker truck behind us. He was all worked up because he seen sparks. There was jacks on the front and back of that trailer. He
Yeah.
jacked it up, we backed up, hooked it up, and pulled out.
Well, the airlines were screwed up.
We just went to
Yeah.
a truck stop.
Yeah, we
We
went.
just went to a truck stop and got it off the road.
The tractors were fine. and everything.
Fine.
Wow.
Very lucky.
Very lucky.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. Resume, biggest win of all time, biggest, most memorable one for you?
Louisville.
Louisville? Yeah. That's awesome. Did they have the big crowds back then too? Like they
Oh,
have today?
it was sell out.
People say to me, pulling's dying. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I just said there was a time when the fair was in town, that's it. There was nothing else to do. And you went to the tractor pull. Now there's 30 things. Like we're here in Hutchinson. and there's a freaking country music, I should say, there's a music festival 30 miles away. There's just so much to pull. You know, we live in such a society now, all these different things to do. I mean, pulling's still strong, you know, but we're starting to, you know, it thins it out. Everybody's seeing it. You know what I mean?
But I get second at Tolman.
I don't know.
So you pull a Guinea Super Pull?
No.
No.
Okay.
I went there.
I watched that tractor. Private farm, LD couldn't figure out, put the weight on the front or the back. So he put it on the front, he put it on the back, and he just took it and threw it off the side. And when he got done, he said, well, that was a mistake.
That's it's a different world.
Yeah, I used to go to the Indian Super Bowl all the time.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it just packed. The amount of people, it's insane. The Houston Astrodome, I think Detroit also. Detroit, the Silver Dome had a big
Silver
pull.
Dome.
Yep.
Matt, biggest memory?
Biggest pull?
Yeah.
Gotta be Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Didn't really, was having trouble with the tractor. I drove it out of bounds the night before. Actually, we put a different blow-by tube on it. It was blowing oil on the rotor. So I was on the brake, but it wouldn't stop. It took me out of bounds. So we figured that out that next morning, and we told, it was second hook. It was in the afternoon.
With my tractor.
With his tractor. And he said, I don't know if there's 2 passes left in that thing, because I was blowing a bunch of oil out too. And took it out the gate 3 something. It was past 310, I believe, because it was going to be an automatic pull-off.
Yeah.
But nobody else made it up, so we lucked out.
Well, they talked Vaughn and Larry. I said, I don't think there's another pass in her. If you want to start it, that's up to you. But Larry said, we'll let her go. Just we're gonna run.
Luckily, nobody else made it up that afternoon.
Who helped you the most over the years? Like as a mentor or just advice? Fellow puller?
Oh, all the pullers, all the friends. Probably Jeff at Hypermax. And Jeff's a good guy.
I don't know the Hypermax Linergy, so
Jerry owns it.
Jerry, is Jeff the son?
No.
Jeff works there?
Jeff's his right hand man.
He's the one that,
That's Jerry Legato owns it, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And we've got this buddy at home who can read something in a book and remember it, and is just very sharp. So he helped us put the first motor together, and
Yep.
I didn't even know how to set the pump. You know, he just showed us how to do all that stuff too. Dave Olson's his name. He's a great help in the beginning for sure.
That's awesome.
But in our area, we're only 18 miles away from Peyton.
That's where Ballers are, right?
Yeah, and that's where we started using his sled in Iowa and everything
Okay.
to get him going too.
So that's how he got started with ITPA then as
Yep.
well? Okay. Yeah, because I gotta do a sled history show sometime. I know Luke, he was big back in the day.
Yep.
He's from
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
Downhill.
Yep. You know,
Jimmy.
Run around without a shirt on. So we've interviewed Jimmy Lukey, his son, on a couple of our shows before. Because I used to do a lot with the Badger State guys. That's where I live. So neat.
Sure.
Yeah, well, this is cool, guys. Thank you for doing it. I just want to thank you personally for childhood memories. And it's so cool to see you now and to be here with the same pole with you. It's a blessing. I love it. I love it. So
Yeah, it's a blast. We still love it. Still enjoy getting out and seeing everybody. And
The only thing is, he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks when I sold mine.
you were mad?
that was part of the family. You don't
Yeah.
sell that thing. Well,
The Magnum Force.
Magnum Force was gone. Yeah.
Basically where it went.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know Gaten. I don't know. I mean, I think he pulled it that first couple years,
Yep.
and that was it.
He never broke it the first year at all until he got the second year.
I don't know what happened for sure.
I think he's got like 5 or 6 supers.
Oh, I know it, but
Yeah.
I told him how much I wanted it. All of a sudden one morning they get up and there's a truck sitting out there. There's somebody walking around trying to get in my sheds.
You just come and got it. Which is how I'd buy something too, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree.
My wife said, who's that? And I said, the dumbest son of a bitch you ever met in your
You
life.
gotta edit that part.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I said we gotta be politically correct here.
No, we don't. No, we don't. This is my show.
He brings in this bag and I said, I told you Cage. He's over there and I told Buck we'd start counting. He come over and goes, what's going on?
You said if you want to see it leave, you better come over. And I'm like, oh god.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
2 sisters.
Okay. Did they come to the polls?
Not very much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just remember you and your dad. I don't remember anybody else really being with you. But I was just a kid, you know what I mean? Just going to the polls. So.
Oh, it's definitely brought us together, I think.
Oh, no, my
it's
dad's
something to
still-
talk about all the time.
Still my best friend, my dad is. My wife will say, you talked to your dad lately? And our first conversation, hey, how's the tractor? We'll talk about, oh, and then he'll say, how's work? How's your kids? I go, they're your grandkids, Dad. So it's kind of fun. But
Yep,
no, Craig's your best friend. So Mom and Dad got divorced when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade. I don't remember exactly. And then Mom moved us to Wisconsin, and then Dad bought that D21. Probably, I think for $8 grand. It was like a
Really?
pro farm tractor, and it was called Blackjack.
Yeah, I know.
And you're one of my dad's.
He wanted to come to the state fair,
Yep. And you let him.
and we had a rule that you had to pull so many poles before, and I said, come on down, you can pull.
Yep. And that tractor just kept us together. And just honestly, the time we just I was every other weekend because we were in Wisconsin. I went down every weekend during the summer to go pulling with them. And I never really got to work on the tractor. That's why I'm so mechanically dumb now. I have to pay somebody to work on my tractor, but I was there to make sure it looked good. This is before aluminum wheels, Matt. I mean, it was just the old Blackjack. It had 20.8s on it when he first bought it, and I got to drive it at Cedar Rapids first time ever before roll cages, and I about tipped it over. They were teasing me, him and RJ, about putting an L and R on the brakes so I know which way to go. And then he said, I'm not coming to my funeral. Those are exact words. I'm not going to my kid's funeral. You're building a farm stock. So we found an 856, and I pulled it with ECI and the 8 mile an hour, or 8 or 10 mile an hour class. And then I sold it to Tony McMullen. He's got it now. It's called Bad Influence. So like a 466 liter. We still got the black hood on it and stuff like that. Then I started helping Dad with his, and then I kind of got going my own. But it just, the time in that truck, you guys, and the time back, those are my fondest memories, just talking. And before my dad would fall asleep, just sitting still, he would talk to me more. So
Right,
it's all good.
right.
So, I can't thank you enough for your time behind the helmet. Dennis Goodwin, Matt Goodwin, my childhood heroes. Good luck tonight, sir.
We'll need it, thank you.
Dennis, good to see you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.